Okay, we will now reconvene our regular board meeting. Good evening and welcome to this meeting of Santa Fe ISD Board of Trustees. We believe it's important that this meeting be conducted in an organized and efficient manner, and to that end would like to outline some ground rules for all of us to follow during the course of the evening. First and foremost, you should recognize this is the board's meeting. By law, most of the discussion and all of the voting must be done in open session, but public participation by necessity must be limited to that part of the agenda that is reserved for public input. Occasionally, the board may seek comment or clarification from an administrator in attendance or even from someone in the audience. It's the board's prerogative to seek that information from non-board members as it chooses. However, unsolicited participation from the audience is inappropriate. Secondly, at times it may seem we are voting on issues of importance with little or no discussion. Be advised that all board members get a packet of background information about the various subjects on tonight's agenda several days in advance of actually coming here to participate in the meeting. After receiving our packets, the board members have and often exercise the opportunity to contact various school administrators to ask specific questions in an effort to better understand the issues that we're expected to vote on. We thank you for being interested in your school district as witnessed by your presence here tonight. We encourage your active participation in the educational process of your children. We appreciate your cooperation in helping us conduct the business of Santa Fe ISD in an organized and civilized manner, and I hope you enjoy the meeting. And with that, Mr. Davenport, would you lead us in invocation and our pledges, please?
Yes, sir. Please bow your heads. Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to gather here tonight, and most importantly, thank you for doing everything that you've done for our students and staff here at Santa Fe ISD. Dear Lord, we just ask that you continue to give us the wisdom and the thoughts that help us move this district in a positive direction. Dear Lord, help us provide the best educational institution we can, keeping our kids safe and sound. Dear Lord, we just ask as we move on tonight onto our destinations after this meeting that you keep us all safe. For it is your name we pray. Amen. Please stand.
Pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any action from our executive session tonight?
No, sir.
All righty. We will now move into our recognitions. Ms. Davenport, are you going to handle those tonight?
Thank you for everything. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you for everything.
Okay, we will now move into our information items. Dr. Wall, our monthly reports and things here.
Yes, sir. We do have monthly reports for your review. And as Mr. Atkins makes his way up to share some updates on some of our facility projects, ongoing projects, I want to bring your attention to an attendance handbook that's, I think, in your bin thing. So Dr. Schumann, who's working on attendance in our district, will come next month to do a update on our attendance efforts so far this year, but this gives you some background information into the programs that we are working on and actually the laws that surround attendance in the state and in the district. So just for you to be able to take, and if you have questions next month, she'll be there to present for you. So with that, Bob, take it away.
All right. How's everybody doing this evening?
Hello, Bob.
So update on Barnett Elementary. This Saturday we have the dedication of Barnett Elementary. The contractor has been steadily working over the last 6 weeks around the active school work and working nights and weekends. He got a couple bonus days, Thursday and Wednesday last week. The landscaper is trying to get done with the weather. I've given him an ultimatum that I don't want to hear about weather delays anymore this week. He just needs to be done by Friday.
There you go.
So he's, I said he's the landscaper. He can fix it as he pulls out. So they're going to be challenged this week. That's probably the biggest glaring thing left, short of some stuff behind the scenes and then punch list, of course. The parking lots are, done. We walked the punch list. We're working on some punch list items. They've got some painting to fix. They've got a couple other things minor here and there. Those are done. The sewer project at the junior high, they did a repair on the manhole. They still have a little bit of repair to do over there, and they still got to replace the bad line at some point, but we'll wait till holiday to do that work up in the front. RJ Willem's mostly done. We're still waiting on some final hardware to come in. And, we drop a dozer off Monday last week, and we get flooding rains on Wednesday and Thursday, so that's just kind of how it goes here. But they did start pushing some dirt today at the baseball field, so they have started the baseball field project, and as they get done at the baseball, they move to softball, so that work is underway. I hope to have a schedule to discuss with y'all on that, a hard schedule today, but I haven't received the updated schedule, so I'll keep you updated on that through emails and stuff.
Next time there's a wildfire in California, I'm sending you out there and I'm gonna tell you to start a project.
I'm telling you,
Because it's
bad.
guaranteed rain every time you start a project.
if I'm digging dirt, it's gonna rain.
It's been raining since Barnett started, and now raining since the
Yep,
baseball project got
I want you
started.
to know that the size of that dozer down there drew some phone calls from some community members. What in the world are y'all about to do at that school?
That was a big dozer for.
It was a big dozer for
I mean,
that
it's
project.
it is a 2-acre baseball field, but it's still a big dozer, so.
Any questions for Bob?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else under information, Dr. Wolf?
Yes, sir.
All right, we will now move into our consent agenda.
So this evening, we have several items for you to consider as approval by consent agenda. Our minutes from our prior meeting, accounts payable from prior month, budget amendments, student transfers for policy, and a MOU, memorandum of understanding, with our coordinated response partners.
Mr. President, make a motion to approve as presented.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as it was presented. Any questions or comments? If not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. All right, we will now move into our regular agenda. Ms. Hansard, you have a whole list of things here, so we'll start with the policy DED local update.
Yes, sir. As a part of Santa Fe ISD's continuous improvement strategy, TASB has recommended that language in policy DED local needs to be updated to align with the Santa Fe ISD employee handbook and HR regulations. This change addresses compensation for any earned but unused vacation days if an employee is terminated or the district accepts a resignation in lieu of termination, except as may be required by law.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve DED local as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the DED local. Any questions or comments? If not, cast your votes, please. It is passed unanimously. Okay, now we have BED local.
In compliance with House Bill 2840, beginning September 1st, 2019, governmental bodies, including school boards, must allow each member of the public who desires to address the board regarding an agenda item on the agenda for an open meeting to address the board regarding the item either before or during the body's consideration of the item. School boards have the authority to determine whether public comment will be taken prior to or during consideration of the item. The bill also permits a local school board to adopt reasonable rules regarding the public's right to address the board, including rules that limit the total amount of time that a member of the public may address the board. In accordance with these requirements, TASB Legal and the district's attorney have recommended revisions to policy BED local, which comply with House Bill 2840.
Mr. President, I move that the board approve BED local as presented.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the BED local policy. Any questions or comments? Cast your votes, please. And we have it approved with one dissenting vote. Okay, Fire Prevention Week.
The 2019 Fire Prevention Week theme, Not Every Hero Wears a Cape, Plan and Practice Your Escape, effectively serves to educate the public that fire can happen anywhere. Fire is a serious public safety concern, and homes are where people are at greatest risk from fire. While campuses across the district practice fire drills once a month, it is just as vital that families develop a home fire escape plan with all members of the household and practice it twice a year. Fire Prevention Week is October 6th through the 12th, 2019. The district is urging all parents and staff to conduct home fire drills at least twice a year and to support the many public safety activities and efforts of our Santa Fe ISD Police Department and the Santa Fe Fire and Emergency Services during Fire Prevention Week 2019.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 6th through 12th, 2019 as Fire Prevention Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this proclamation for Fire Prevention Week. Any questions? Cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Okay, now National School Lunch Week.
National School Lunch Week, school lunch, what's on your playlist, is October 14th through the 18th, 2019. The Santa Fe ISD Yum Nutrition Department serves approximately 888 breakfasts and 1,845 lunches daily, and these employees serve nearly 500,000 meals each year, ensuring students' nutritional needs are met with appealing and delicious meals. This week is set aside to encourage all residents to become aware and concerned about their children's and their own nutritional habits in hope of achieving a healthier outlook for today and the future.
Mr. President, I make a motion. I move that the board proclaim October 14th to the 18th, 2019 as National School Lunch Week in Santa Fe ISD.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National School Lunch Week. Any questions? Not cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Okay, now Bus Safety Week.
National School Bus Safety Week is October 21st through the 25th, 2019. This year's theme is My School Bus, the safest form of student transportation. The district's first priority in the transportation program is the safety of students. Approximately 3,500 students are transported by 54 drivers on 46 buses with over 116 routes on a daily basis. This week is set aside to promote safety when loading, unloading, and while riding on the bus. Literature is given to students during this week to share with their parents and with the community about bus safety.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 21st through 25th, 2019 as National Bus Safety Week in Santa Fe ISD.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National Bus Safety Week. Any questions? I cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay, how about Red Ribbon Week?
The National and Santa Fe ISD Red Ribbon Week campaign, Send a Message, Stay Drug Free, is scheduled for October 23rd through the 31st, 2019. This annual event is one of the largest and most successful drug awareness and prevention activities in the country. The Santa Fe ISD DARE, Drug Awareness Resistance Education Program, requests the Board of Trustees to pass a proclamation that encourages each campus to provide special opportunities for our students to participate in the Red Ribbon Week campaign. Activities that promote drug and our safety awareness will be instituted during Red Ribbon Week.
President, I move that the board proclaim October 23rd to 31st, 2019 as Red Ribbon Week in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded we approve the proclamation for Red Ribbon Week. Any questions? Cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. All right, how about Attendance Awareness Month?
September has been Attendance Awareness Month, and this year's Attendance Awareness campaign is We Belong in School. Attendance is essential to student achievement and graduation, and we are committed to dedicating our resources and attention to reducing chronic absenteeism rates with a focus on starting as early as pre-kindergarten and kindergarten. The district's goal is to raise public awareness and concern regarding the impact of chronic absenteeism on the student learning environment. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing chronic absenteeism to provide all children an equitable opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim September 2019 as Attendance Awareness Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for Attendance Awareness Month. Any questions? Cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. All right, how about Bullying Prevention Month proclamation?
National Bullying Prevention Month is October. The theme for this year is Stomp Out Bullying, End the Hate, and Change the Culture. This month is set aside to encourage students, parents, recreation programs, religious institutions, and community organizations to engage in a variety of awareness and prevention activities designed to make our schools and communities safer for all children and adolescents.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim the month of October 2019 as Bullying Prevention Month in Santa Fe ISD.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded we approve the proclamation for Bullying Prevention Month. Any questions? Cast your votes, please. And it has been approved. All right, how about National Principals Month?
Santa Fe ISD is joining the National Association of Secondary Principals, the National Association of Elementary Principals, and the American Federation of School Administrators as we honor the hard work and dedication of America's principals for the month of October. Principals are expected to be educational leaders, disciplinarians, community builders, spokesmen, budget analysts, guardians of policy mandates, set the academic tone for their school, and provide a safe and secure learning environment. National Principals Month provides an opportunity to say thank you to our principals and share with the community all the great things that our principals do.
Mr. President, I move that the board proclaim October 2019 as National Principals Month in Santa Fe ISD.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proclamation for National Principals Month. Any questions? Cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Okay, Ms. Oliver, you have the Roselle Therapy Services.
Yes, sir. Roselle Therapy Services has provided and will provide physical therapy services to Santa Fe ISD students at all campuses. The contracted services are necessary as a related service to provide services to students with physical disabilities that impede their access to the general education curriculum.
Mr. President, I make a motion we consider and approve the contract for Roselle Therapy Services to provide physical therapy to the students of Santa Fe ISD for the 2019-20 school year in an amount not to exceed $59,000.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this contract with Roselle Therapy Services. Any questions or comments? Cast your vote, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. McKinney, you want to get some school buses?
Yes, the district has been awarded TCEQ grant funds in the amount of $1,243,880 from the Volkswagen settlement for reimbursement for replacing 19 high nitrous oxide emission older buses. This average reimbursement is $65,467 per new bus purchased. The buses come equipped with 3-point seat belts, Bendix Wingman Fusion collision mitigation, adaptive cruise control, with collision mitigation and stationary vehicle braking, stationary object alert, lane departure warning, overspeed alert in action. It includes front radar and camera, driver display, 6 interior cameras, surround view exterior cameras, and fog maker fire suppression system. The time frame for of the grant is August 2019 until August 31st, 2021. And we're recommending purchasing 9 of the buses this fiscal year and 10 buses next fiscal year. The quotes are for this round are 5 77-passenger diesel buses and 4 54 special needs buses with wheelchair lifts. The district portion for the 77-passenger buses is $219,190. The list price for one 77-passenger diesel-powered school bus is $109,305 and $546,525 for five. Of that, the district is eligible to be reimbursed $327,335 from the TCEQ grant program upon the destruction of the older diesel buses. The district portion for the four 54-passenger IC diesel-powered school buses equipped with wheelchair lift is $174,288. One of those buses is priced at $109,039, and it's $436,156 for four. The district is eligible to be reimbursed $261,868, an average of $65,467 per bus from the grant program, after destroying the buses which the new buses will replace. The vendor is Longhorn Bus. There is an $800 buy board fee for the entire order. And the vendor offers additional options per bus: diagnostic software for Cummins, Allison, and IC bodies, which helps our mechanics work on the bus. And that's $221 per bus for a total of $1,989. And a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty for $4,630 per bus for a total of $41,670 for all 9 buses. The total cost of 9 buses is $982,681. The VW grant will cover $589,203, and the district portion is $394,278, which includes the $800 buy board fee.
I know this might be a ridiculous question, but the fog maker fire suppression, what is that?
So
What's the agent?
it's a foam mist. It's mostly water, but it attacks all three sides of the fire triangle. It hits the fuel, it hits the oxygen, and it also cools it at the same time. This is a new recommendation from the National Transportation Safety Board. It's recommended for that to be included on all new school buses. I think it's especially important on our special needs buses, as evacuations can take longer if necessary.
I guess the reason why I say it's a ridiculous question is because I know they wouldn't put something toxic, but it's not toxic, just.
No.
Okay. I know a lot of fire agents are.
It not only saves gives you time to put the fire out and let you help you evacuate, but if you've ever seen a bus fire, it also saves the bus.
So we're basically getting round numbers. We're getting $1 million worth of buses for $400,000.
Yes, sir.
About a 60% discount.
So where do I sign?
We're fixing to cover that hopefully in just a second.
Can we
So-
get a few more of these?
Who's going to destroy the buses?
So we usually use, there's a vendor in Houston that we send it to, and just depending on the price of steel, sometimes we get a little something for them. Some of them we have to have towed, so it's about a wash if we have to have them towed, because it's about what we would get out of them. But most of them are running, and we'll maintain them running till we get replacements for them. But we use a vendor, and they drill I think it's a 3-inch hole in the engine block, and they have to cut the frame into. And we have to send pictures to that, or we don't get money back.
When's the delivery date?
Well, that's a good question. They always say 180 days, but I've never gotten one in 180 days. So 6 to 8 months would be
So you
my
should-
guess.
You should have it by first of the year, next year.
Oh, we better have them by June.
Well, I'm just telling you. You're 6 months, we're 2 months into the school year right now, so man, I'm talking about for next school year. It's fine.
And the vast majority of their delivery schedule is already finishing up.
Right.
So it may move through a little faster. They think it might take less than 6 months. It will surprise me. I've never gotten a bus in 6 months yet.
Maybe they'll surprise you.
I just find it interesting that they're replacing these buses with diesel buses because most people won't even remember this, but back after the BP settlement with the government years ago, Santa Fe ISD was given the opportunity and partnered with them, but we couldn't buy another diesel bus. It had to be the LNG and all, and so it just seems odd now that we're going back to, I mean, I'm not questioning it, but it's kind of a sign of the times we got rid of diesel buses, and the only thing we could replace it with that grant, and this was through the federal government, was with LNG, and now we're back to buying diesel buses. I realize they're much more efficient. But
Well, the technology's come a long way. The buses we're scrapping yet have 5.6 is their NOx rating, and one of them is 6 even. And the ones we're replacing them with are 0.2
yeah, they're way
parts
down.
per million of NOx. So it's negotiable whether you're any greener with any other form of technology.
No, there's a lot of stuff out there that would say you're not, but I think we had a lot of conversation back then about the safety concern of, people weren't familiar with LNG and all that, and some of the facilities that we put in down there. But again, it was a deal that was almost too good to pass up. But this, to me, just makes a lot more sense because it's what people are much more accustomed to. So,
It's like bell bottoms
yeah.
coming back.
I got one more a question on all of these extra items. It's like it's a loaded bus. Is this all standard for buses nowadays?
So everything that's included on there is a safety item, such as the cameras we get on every bus. The surround view cameras, it basically gives you a bird's eye view of the bus. It has 4 cameras and it stitches the image together. If a child were standing behind the rear bumper, you could see them. So it just increases the safety of the bus. The wingman comes standard, but the wingman fusion, that accident mitigation senses non-moving objects as well. And I've tested the technology too, and it's really strange to watch a vehicle stop itself when it runs up on something. It's really hard to stay off the brake to watch it work, but I have tested that.
And that's all, Greg, I'm just asking, so this is all standard for buses nowadays?
For the most part, yes. The fire suppression is the latest recommendation, and that's, I don't know if you've ever seen a bus fire. It's a scary thing.
And I always want to ask is, so of course I've never bought a bus. Do you go in there and pick the options you want?
Yes.
Okay.
So does the grant value dictate on the cost of the actual bus price? Is it based off a percentage or is it a flat fee?
It's a set fee, so, I mean, you could order, as basic or as fancy as you want, but the reimbursement will be the same.
So that has nothing to do with the value of the bus. If you bring up your quantities, can the prices go down per bus if you buy more?
No.
Commit to any?
No.
Okay, you're at the deepest level you can get as far as out of your 19 you're going after?
Yes.
I do have one other question. Just wondered that in your information, you gave us a total on the options of $41,670, but then in your recommendation, you have those options as $43,659.
That is the difference of the,
I think it's the software
So
and
it's
the 198 and then top.
So it's the warranty plus
Yes.
the,
Okay,
yeah, I see.
Yes.
very good. Any other questions for Mr. McKinney?
Purchasing any more this year versus next year, would it help you with savings and fees, mechanics, offset any extra costs? And will the price of the buses go up next year versus this year?
So the only difference I can see would be the cost of the buy board fee, paying that again, which is $800 on a separate PO. But the bid, if we come back with the same numbers in a couple months with a July or August delivery, we should be able to get the same numbers. We go much longer than that, we may run into steel prices going up. We're subject to that.
I'm just talking about the future 10 you want to replace. What's it costing you to keep those running for another year versus going ahead and?
Well, they're expensive. I mean, we have one that I told Terry, not to replace, not to repair. It's running, but it's barely running, and a new engine would be $25,000 to $27,000. And I said, we're just going to replace that one this year. And so,
When do we pay the invoice for those?
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to ask.
What's that? So at delivery. So if we staggered it, we could possibly do the order, but then said, you know, you can deliver the first 9, and then we can pay that invoice, and then after we cross over the new budget year,
Go ahead and get your 10, the other 10
and go
coming.
get your 10 the other year. I mean, is that an option for us to then work and try to be flexible with the vendor so that the delivery date comes right after we switch over to the new budget year?
we work with this vendor all the time, so, I mean,
You're
we
19
can
faster
set
than-
a July delivery date for them, and if they get there early, we can just tell them we're not taking them until July.
Ms. Townsend, would that pose any problems for finance?
As long as we have the budget there. That's just what we're waiting to see, is what the budget year is gonna look like. So that's always the question, but that was the understanding when they ran it over 3 years, that we would try to stagger and hit different years with the purchases. But like Mark says, if there's a high demand for new buses, it may be a little longer than 6 months. It could go into 9 months. So
Right.
you also want to think about your replacement, whether you're going to replace 20 at a time or you're going to replace 10 at a time. So 15 years from now, what would that look like? So we were trying to hope for a little bit of staggered period between that, but we are looking to hit in 2 different years.
So we can take advantage of the savings though and still put money back and budget for, be proactive instead of reactive next time we need more buses.
Yes.
Yes, and I can ask them if we order 19, can we put 10 off to a July delivery and get it on, I don't know if they would do it on one PO, but you might take advantage of some more volume pricing that way. I can ask.
Does that make sense, Ms. Townsend?
Yes, as long as the budget is there as well. So yes, it does.
You're not gonna get her to budge, but.
Ain't getting to the budget. Ain't joined it yet, man.
But I think at this point in time, they're looking for approval to do that, and these things are great discussion items as she looks at the budget or whatnot to step that up,
Mr. President,
potentially move it faster.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the purchase of 9 buses from the Longhorn Bus in an amount of $982,681 with VW grant reimbursement of $589,203 for a district price of $394,278. Approve additional options in an amount of $43,659 for the total not to exceed $437,937.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of these 9 buses. Any other questions or comments?
One comment, if you do find out something from them, if you don't mind entertaining it, just bring it back to us as soon as possible so we can help y'all get the order placed.
Will do.
Any other questions?
No, sir.
If not, cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Atkins, you want to bring the CMAR to us?
Yes, sir. As y'all are aware, we received the TEA grant for $10.9 million to reconstruct the learning environment at the high school after the May 18th tragedy. We are working with Create Architects on design and presentations of what we're going to do at the high school. What we are asking for now is a delivery method for procurement of the general contractor services for the new construction project. In the past, we've done competitive sealed proposals, but for this project, because there is a hard deadline to have the project completed of August of 2021, and there's a finite amount of funds for this, unlike a bond where you over budget, we recommend a CM at risk purchasing for this project. We went over that in our board workshop earlier this evening. Most of the requirements there, but this allows us to get a general contractor on board early in the design process. We would bring one to y'all for consideration next month. They would be doing multiple bidding estimates throughout the project, and they would go through the existing facility and hopefully find a lot of the pitfalls that could cost us money and allow us to design something that is going to come in on budget and on time.
Any
So
questions?
do you have any type of budget whatsoever?
We're shooting for 9 million. That's our budget because we've taken 1.9 and reimbursed costs that we've already had after May 18th, and so we've budgeted 9 million for the construction.
Mr. President, I move we approve the procurement method for construction of the high school additions and renovations as construction manager at risk.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this procurement method for the high school additions and renovations. Any other questions or comments?
I just want to have a comment. One, I just want to remind you, I like E.
What's that?
I like E.
You like E?
Yeah. You share that with Ms. Harris, I don't think y'all have seen it yet, but
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yep. Okay, any other questions or comments? Cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Okay, now you've got some chillers for us.
So this is a quarterly and annual service agreement for the 3 new chillers that came with Barnett Elementary. When we constructed the school, we requested a 10-year parts and labor on those chillers when they put them in. This is a 10-year agreement for a service agreement. We've done this with Hunting Services back in 2010 when we replaced the majority of the chillers in the district, and then for every subsequent chiller we've bought since then, we've bought one of these. Now, in the past, we've done 15 years, which went 5 years beyond the actual chiller warranty. I recommend 10 years on this because we estimate those air-cooled chillers will be beyond their life expectancy at about 15 to 20 years. So if their service lives weren't ending before 15, then we wouldn't want to be paying for a service agreement on that. So we get good information, and it helps us make sure that they don't come back and say the warranties are void because of poor maintenance from SFISD.
What's your pleasure?
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the procurement of the quarterly and annual service agreement with Barnett Chillers from Hunting Services for a cost not to exceed $14,691.58 annually.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this Hunting Services procurement. Any questions or comments? And cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. All right, now we need to purchase some new chillers.
So, yes, sir. So the high school has 3 300-ton air-cooled chillers that are original to the construction, which came online in August of 2020. They were started up probably in the spring of 2020, so they're 20 years old, 19 years old now. We put in a 600-ton chiller.
Yeah, I think you may check your math. So they came on in
I'm sorry.
2000.
Spring of 2000. You're right.
There you go.
You're right. But we put a new 600-ton water-cooled chiller in 2010, and that chiller carries the majority of the load right now. So we've been able to limp along the air-cooled chillers for the last 10 years, but they've gotten to a point where they have failed, and the 600-ton chiller with some of the extra heat load we have has struggled at times, and there's been some times that it has gone down. We have trouble keeping the 300 tons running fully, so we're recommending replacing all 3 with 2 300-ton chillers because we don't feel like we need all 900 tons whenever everything's working correctly. The cost is $827,462. That does include from Train carrying some contingency dollars, so they would only bill us what they spend. There's some questions on electrical needs. The electrical service for the 2 300-ton chillers is a little bit different than existing, so there's some concrete and electrical service number. They're not sure exactly how that's all going to shake out yet. So
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the purchase of 2 new chillers with installation, all associated parts and labor for the chiller installation for a cost not to exceed $827,462 from Hunting Services.
I second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the purchase of these chillers for high school. Any other questions or comments?
Bob, are y'all gonna do them this year in the summertime? What's the plan?
We plan on doing them in the winter. We plan on doing over Christmas break, and we can do them during the winter time. Even it's going to probably stretch beyond the Christmas break because these are like for like, the pads are the same, so they can lift them out and set them in, and then just pipe them in. We can carry the whole school on the 600-ton chiller, no problem in the winter time. Where we run into a bind is May and August and September, whenever it's 95 degrees, mostly at startup. So we'll get these done and in place this Christmas break time frame.
If these don't go in time, I know an expecting mother at the high school that might come looking for you.
No, so we're going to place an order tomorrow, and they're 16 to 20 week lead time. So even if they don't come in before Christmas break and we put them in January or February, it's really not going to have any effect on the comfort of the high school.
You tell her that.
So.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase
Already
of 2
done that.
new
Already did.
chillers.
Already done that.
I'd pulled that one.
Any other questions or comments? If not, cast your votes, please. And it is passed unanimously. Okay, you got one more, Mr. Atkins, the performance payment bond.
So last month, we brought the turf fields for baseball and softball to you guys for consideration and approval, and y'all chose a contractor that had the lowest bid of $1,266,457. One of the things I knew we did not include in that price, and we talked about, was a contingency budget for the project. Typically, we would run about a 6.5% contingency budget, which is about $82,000. The other thing that was not factored into his price was a payment and performance bond. What this does is protects the district in the event that he asks a sub to do work and then fails to pay them. They won't come and file on us, they'll file on his bond, so it gives him skin in the game for making sure that he's paying his subcontractors after we've paid them. Keeps them from being on file liens or anything else on our property. So I think I can cover all that out of that 6.5% of $82,319. That's cover the performance and payment bond and any contingency work that comes up. I know we'll probably have some money to spend on some drainage where we're tying in existing inlets because we already know we have a problem there at the high school, and then it's other incidents and unknowns we may run across during the project, but we don't anticipate a lot.
Can you make him sign on a partial payment or as we progressive
Yeah,
payments?
so he'll do progressive payments throughout, and then he'll with those he gets lien releases from whenever he makes those payments. So, but yeah, we do a progressive payment with him monthly.
On his lien releasements, can you show that he showed proof that he paid his
Yeah, they'll
vendors,
show
and
that.
so you don't have to spend the money?
We typically don't collect them, but he gets those when he makes those payments and has them available for us if we need them.
So by him doing that, aren't we kind of protected?
We are protected to a point, but there are times that if he fails to perform, if he walks on a job, we can go call his bond to hire somebody to come complete it as well. It protects us that way as well.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Mr. President, I make a motion we approve the contingency and performance payment bond, cost of $82,319 to Fielder's Choice and EnviroTurf.
I second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the contingency and performance payment bond. Any other questions or comments?
No, sir.
Cast your votes, please. And it has passed unanimously. Okay, that is all our regular agenda, so we will now move into board communication. Mr. Atkins, I put Ms. Ross on the hot seat first last month, so it's your turn this month.
I really don't have anything.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Ms. Townsend?
Just wishing everybody a great week.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Snyder?
first of all, I want to thank you, Bob. I didn't know we doing that hiring thing during the summer. Was it? Yeah, that was a great thing, by the way.
We couldn't have done what we had to do this summer without all that.
You know, knew a couple of those kids, and those kids learned how to work and worked hard. No doubt in my mind. Well, I want to thank you, whoever you and Chris. Tell them thank you. Thank y'all for all coming, and thank y'all for everything y'all do.
I'm gonna just echo that. Thank everybody for what you do. I know we say it every month, but I truly mean it. You know, you all work so hard, and really, I want to thank Dr. Wall and Rusty for y'all's continuing efforts to go to Austin and speak on our behalf, and to get this money, and it's appreciated. I don't think I've ever told y'all that, but it is well appreciated. So
Good job.
and a special thank you to the everyone at the convention this weekend. It was good times. You know, we learned a lot, and I appreciate all of y'all's friendship and professionalism, and I want to thank y'all.
Okay. Ms. Ross?
Well, I would like to extend a special thank you to the principals. If you don't know this, they've really started strong. High expectations are put out, and every day they're working on targeted goals. So they've done a really great job. And a special congratulations to Andy Hull. She delivered baby Barrett last week, and he's a healthy, happy baby. And we would like to thank Jamie Nichols for stepping up and being here for Kubitschek. And it takes team effort. They've done a great job by coordinating plans in order to support Miss Hull while she's out. So thank you, everybody.
Ms. Answer.
Okay, so Mr. Norman, I had a great many proclamations this evening, but one that I didn't bring is because the governor just signed was HR Day, and it's October the 9th. So I just wanted to let everyone know because I could not do it, and none of us could without my HR staff, and so, but that is October the 9th. But also October the 25th, I don't want you to forget that Drive for Your School will be in the Santa Fe High School parking lot from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So please go out and drive a car so that all of those dollars get donated back to the Santa Fe Texas Education Foundation because they do a lot for our students as well and our teachers and grants and so forth. So, and this is a rather lengthy, it's 3 pages. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but we have a lot of events going on, a lot of positive things going on our campuses and in our departments. So please take a look at that when you can. Thank you.
So knowing that your title has HR but also PR, I'd be willing to bet we don't forget October the 9th.
I know, but it's a little awkward, saying that. But I do want to be able to, be able to recognize my staff because they work very hard each and every day. So, but thank you.
Mr. Logan?
Thank all y'all for being here this evening. Hope y'all have a great, safe wait. Ms. Nichols, thank you for stepping up and helping out. We appreciate it.
Mr. Grassmuck?
I proclaim no more proclamations.
Tonight?
Tonight.
Tonight.
We've had enough. Now, Patrick kind of touched on it earlier, and that's something I was actually having a conversation with somebody else earlier today about some schools that were having financial difficulties, some sports figures that were stepping in to assist in schools that could no longer afford their sports programs. And I just want to not only thank Dr. Wall, but her directors that go out and hustle grants and find funds that are out there that are available that we wouldn't otherwise have. This district gets a lot of stuff that our local taxpayers aren't having to pay for because of the hard work that y'all are doing behind the scenes, hustling grants. And a lot of people don't realize that and don't see that, but it makes a huge difference. So thank you to all of y'all that are working behind the scenes to go out and find that stuff. Makes a huge difference.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Hertenberger?
Thank you all. I love sitting where I sit. They do all the talking. I just have to acknowledge it and agree. So thanks everybody for coming out.
Mr. President, I move that Clay goes first next week.
Hey, you just never know. I may just start switching it up every month. Mr. Davenport?
Thank you to Mrs. Red Rubberball. So, and y'all have a wonderful evening.
Hold on.
Wow.
Let's go. Dr. Wall, do you have
Was
anything?
so not expecting that.
Eric touches on the convention speaker. He did a good job at that and meeting with the guy, and I think he had a good message. And I know anybody
Yes.
here could do it, could share it.
So you must explain.
So,
You just
So
asked for
the
it,
the
right.
keynote speaker on Friday's general session that ended the day was a gentleman that had a great story about how he went from having parents at a young age that really didn't care for him, and then he was moving back and forth between his grandparents who did try to give him some direction, and also back to his parents, his mother. At one point, didn't even come home for almost 2 weeks, left him without any kind of food, and just him and his brother. And so it was a journey, just for long story short, it was a journey. And how he made connection was with a playground in the local community of Philadelphia. And in that community, or in that playground, that he was learning to play ball, whether it be basketball or some other form of some play, was the whole theme around it. And he used a red rubber ball. And that's one thing that we can all go back to as we've grown up and as each one of us get into our adulthood and everything else. There's one thing that always brings us into commonality, and that is a ball that we've always played with at one time or another, or with a friend or a sibling or even your parents or even your grandkids and everything. So long story short, it was a fascinating, his name is Kevin Carroll. And I had a chance to he sold some books, and I had a chance to visit with him personally after the event. And it was just amazing. So I would love for each and every one of y'all to look at reading some of his books that are out there, because it's really fascinating. It's just so motivating. And he tied it back to, so to land the plane here and quit circling around the runways and everything else, he tied it back to learning. And Jenny's looking at me like, he won't land it. But his grandmother used to tell him always, keep learning.
mic off, you're gonna crash.
Keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. And so he used playing and learning as his motivation through life, and he's still doing it today at the age of 60. And we all had, we nicknamed Mrs. Hansard Red Rubber Ball. So I'll land it there.
There you go. Dr. Wall?
Just one thing. It was really very motivational. We did actually enjoy that message, and we'll keep that in mind with us. But what I really wanted to say is thank you very much to all of you for your patience, understanding as we work to make best decisions for our students in district last week during the weather. And I will leave with one comment from one of our Kubitschek students. It was great to have the days off, but we owe her 2 days of learning. So remember that, and isn't that the greatest comment? So thank you all for all that you do. Have a great week.
You know, it's funny you say, because my grandson hit me up the other day with, I had to miss one of his classes, I can't remember which one, because he had a doctor's appointment, and now I've missed 2 more days. So what is the school going to do to help me make that up? I mean, that's
Awesome attitude. Love that thinking.
Again, I don't want to repeat a bunch of stuff, but thank you to all the board members and the staff members that attended the TASB and TASA convention. Patrick made a couple of comments earlier about some of the things in the learning environment there and everything, and it's great that, you know, you were able to take advantage of that, and I appreciate that very much. Also, thank you to all the folks for the budget workshop and update, and then to Create. I see they're all gone now, but for presenting some of the options that we're considering for the high school renovations and all after the tragedy. And again, even though they're gone, the taxpayers of this area have no earthly idea what that mine group has done for us, not just this time, what they do anyway in their normal jobs, and then this is something they tackled above and beyond on their own. And it's really, it was for us. And one of the comments that one of the gentlemen made as he walked up here and shook hands is, this was a horrible, horrible tragedy, but it was a tremendous honor to be able to do something for the students and staff in the community of Santa Fe. And I don't know what else you can ask for above and beyond things like that. So with that, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor, raise your hands. And we are adjourned. Thank you.